Young crypto millionaires across the United States are pumping their Bitcoin profits into luxury real estate and completely missing the mark with every investment they're making. I'll show you what they're doing, how you can avoid these very costly mistakes, but more importantly, how you can pull it off the right way, even if you're not already a crypto millionaire. Let's go. Hi, my name is Matt Theriault, CEO of Epic Real Estate, where we show people how to invest in real estate so they can escape the daily grind and retire early. And today, we're talking about some really young people who managed to retire before they ever entered the rat race. Let's look at what they're doing, the expensive mistakes that they're making, and most importantly, how you can get in on the action and do it the right way, even if you're starting from scratch with zero cryptocurrency to your name. It was this week I stumbled upon an article on therealdeal.com. Meet the 20-somethings funneling their crypto millions into real estate. Now, I didn't have any specific expectations before reading it, but I was shocked to see how much they've made, and I was even more shocked to see how they're painfully giving so much of it back when diversifying it into real estate. I mean, they are losing millions. Maybe it'll even amount to billions once it's all said and done. You know, we've seen this play out with lottery winners, where they win big and then they're more likely to file bankruptcy in the next 3 to 5 years than the average American who never wins. So here, this article started with a young Hank Wu, who was an early adopter of cryptocurrency in 2010-ish. He invested heavily and made millions riding the meteoric rise of Bitcoin. Since then, he's sold around 80% of his crypto portfolio, putting his profits into other investments like backing startups and increasingly buying real estate. Seemingly a smart move. But wait, there's more. In 2018, Wu bought 7 garden-style rental units in West Palm Beach, and he's about to close on a condo in Manhattan. And during the pandemic, he went into contract for another 1-bedroom unit in Manhattan for $1.8 million. He paid for it in all cash, funds that he wouldn't have had if not for his adolescent crypto bets. You see, Wu likes real estate for the fact that he can rely on it never going to zero, of which I totally agree. In fact, I say that all the time. Real estate will never go to zero. Something you can't say about stocks or crypto. Now, Wu is just one of many who have made millions from cryptocurrency and are now looking to park their crypto riches in the more stable and tangible asset class of real estate. According to brokers and crypto fund managers from New York to Miami to Los Angeles, crypto wealth is being pumped into luxury real estate properties by the wheelbarrows. Now, whether they're first converting their crypto into cash or using Bitcoin directly to buy property, they're creating 3 huge problems for themselves. For example, James Keogh, a broker at Douglas Elliman in the Hamptons, recently bought a new 4-bedroom home for $2.1 million. Now, after putting 10% down in cash, he converted $250,000 worth of Ethereum to pay another 15% down at closing. So problem number 1, by converting his Ethereum to cash, just like Wu did, he created a significant taxable event. Per the article, Keogh's earnings were classified as short-term capital gains and therefore subject to higher tax rates. So doing the quick and dirty math, based on the ability to purchase a $2.1 million home, we're likely talking about a 37% hit, amounting to $92,000. And that's just the federal tax. You see, James is a New York resident, so you can slap another 10% state tax on top of that. So roughly speaking, federal and state tax combined, that's just shy of a $120,000 hit to the old net worth. Now here's problem number 2. Keogh said of his Ethereum stash, if I had sold it a week later, it would have been worth $400,000. So mistiming the market took another $245,000 chunk out of the old war chest. So collectively, a $365,000 loss on a single real estate purchase. Ouch! Over the last year, cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin have seen explosive, unprecedented growth. Bitcoin jumped a staggering 800% from April 2020 to a high of 63,000 on April 15th, 2021. Even with its considerable backslide as of the recording of this video, it's still up 400% year over year. Now, I think it's wise to take some profit off the table and diversify into other assets. But it can easily be a foolish move if you do it wrong, like Wu and Keogh did, and likely what most of the others are doing too. And I'll get to the huge problem number 3 in just a second. But problem number 1, they're paying through the nose in taxes, and they don't have to. And problem number 2, they've atrociously interrupted their investment growth by selling their crypto. They didn't have to do that either. Now, problem number 3. Their portfolio has grossly slowed, relatively, to a crawl under the guise of diversification. And they don't have to put up with that either. You see, with just a few tweaks, this diversification play can still happen without the losses. And I'll show them to you in just a second. But who knows? Maybe they've made so much money they just don't care. And if they're okay with that, it doesn't bother me a bit. It's their money. They can do with it what they please. But I will admit, I'm a little envious that they're half my age and that I didn't start investing in crypto when they did, because I could have. You see, I had the opportunity and I passed on it. But gratefully, we're still very early in the game of this new asset class, and I am catching up. You know, perhaps being twice their age and having more life experience under my belt is actually an advantage. You know, I've learned firsthand more than once that life can just come along at any moment without notice and just kick you right in the teeth. And when it does, you can't help but think about the time and money that you've squandered in the past, wishing you had the opportunity to go back and do some things differently. Anyway, back to the reason for all of this, to show you how these profit-taking portfolio diversifying goals can be accomplished without the losses. You see, here at Epic, we build systems for aspiring investors and busy professionals that cause their money to work harder for them than they did for it. And here's an example of what that's looking like today. Since 2017, I've been dollar cost averaging with post-tax dollars into Bitcoin and other altcoins. That decision 4 years ago has resulted in a 600% return today. Then, a year or so ago, I started depositing all of my coins into a decentralized finance bank account where I could borrow my profits without selling any of my coins. And because I borrowed my profits, there's no actualized profit to tax. I then used my borrowed profits to open a life insurance bank account that's very conservatively invested in the stock market, producing a 5% return. I have since borrowed against the capital in that account without selling any of those stocks to purchase income real estate. Again, because I borrowed my money, no taxes are due. The income from the real estate then pays back the crypto and stock loans that I gave to myself, of which the interest that I paid on those loans is tax deductible. Next, I refinanced the property, pulling out a bunch of equity to buy more cryptocurrency, where the process then repeats. So let's break it down. What is actually happening here? First, I did pay my fair share in taxes on the money that was originally invested in the crypto. And at some point, I may have to pay tax on the income that the real estate produces. Likely not though, due to how the tax code favors real estate. But I'll never have to pay capital gains tax on the crypto, the stocks, or the real estate, because I'll never have to sell it, nor do I want to. Second, I've leveraged the velocity of money where my original dollar invested here in the crypto is also working here in the stock market and also here in the real estate market. That $1 gets to experience uninterrupted growth in all 3 investment classes. It's like $1 working as if it were 3. This is an extreme game of offense that very few people talk about. You see, if Keo would have done it this way, his $255,000 loss for mistiming his Ethereum sale would have never happened. He would have had the best of both worlds, the house and the appreciated value of his crypto. The article does address the other side of the coin though. Pun intended. Many sellers bullish on crypto are giving sweeter deals to buyers who make their offers in crypto. For example, Timothy Brackett is selling his New Jersey home for $3.9 million, but will gladly knock off $50,000 if you pay him in cryptocurrency. Los Angeles-based developer Michael Chen is listing a spec home for $65 million under similar conditions, citing that the sale could halve or double in value overnight. Chen doesn't see crypto as a currency, but rather as an investment, and is willing to take the risk. You know, those who use Bitcoin to purchase property may end up with a very 21st century kind of buyer's remorse. But back to this breakdown. The third thing I've got here is I'm diversified in 3 separate, uncorrelated investments, making this also an extreme game of defense. And fourth, as a bonus, I'm not only securely hedged against inflation in my portfolio, I'm positioned to profit from it. As 1, inflation favors borrowers of fixed rate debt. 2, inflation favors real estate. And 3, inflation favors adjustable income producing assets. Real estate works. And when done right, it works even better. And if this is the first time you've ever seen anything like this, I get it. You've got some questions like my REI ACE clients did when I recently shared this with them during a private web class. So I'd be happy to give you a copy of that class recording. I'll give you the names of all the resources and services that I use to make the system work. And I'll answer all of your questions personally as well. Likely the most important thing that you'll get from this class recording is seeing that you don't already have to be a crypto millionaire for this to work. So I put some simple instructions on how to get your hands on this stuff in the description below. Just click the show more link and it'll open right up for you. So what did you find most valuable? Let me know below. And who do you know that needs to see this? When their name comes to mind, please share it with them. Oh, and if you're already subscribed to the channel, I went ahead and I pulled this video out special for you to watch next. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Take care.